Hey, I'm Cole.
I'm Kenyon.
I'm Kwame.
And I review bad self-help.
And we put it into our daily lives so you don't have to.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, so this week on I'll See You in Help, I went to the library and I picked up a couple of diet books. Probably the worst diet books I saw on the shelves. And it's also a reintroduction of our friend Deepak Chopra again.
Oh, nice.
I like Deepak.
Can't get enough of that guy.
You don't like Deepak?
Should be in Guantanamo Bay. He's caused more harm to this nation than half the people there.
You shouldn't say too much about him, though, because I've heard he's very litigious. Very litigious.
Oh, he sues people?
Oh, all the time. He has an
What,
army of
Deepak
lawyers.
Chopra, MD
That's
on
the
book?
only time he makes sense is in court when he's suing people. He just speaks in pseudo nonsense until he's in court and then just goes hard argument.
Does he have an actual doctor that says MD on the book?
Yeah, he teaches like medicine before at some like prestigious university.
And then now he's like, don't take pills and meditate and send all your money to me and that'll...
Yeah.
I could see him like as a Joker-style villain that just like couldn't afford a bill, and he's like, "I'll just tell white women that chakras are responsible for everything." And then he sits probably on a mountain made of gold now.
Do you think it's just white? Because he's like super good friends with Oprah. Do you think just white women watch Oprah?
Yes,
Really?
100%.
You think
Oprah,
the majority of her
Oprah
audience
was
is
white woman's only black person that they know.
really?
100%.
Yeah. So I picked up God's Diet.
A little bit of a bold name.
This one isn't written by Deepak. This one's
Is it a
written
Christian
by
thing?
Dorothy Galt McNamee.
Where do you go from a God's Diet? Because I feel like it's a pretty bold name.
Is it a religion? Yeah, what is God's diet?
It's got to be a real How can you have God's
just
Diet?
eats
That's
the souls of
the souls of the children he lets die in Kenyon every day.
God's Diet.
So
Just all the happiness gay people should have had.
Yeah, we got God's
Sounds
Diet,
like a book, like an atheist introduction.
Yeah,
God's
yeah.
diet.
and then we got The Perfect Weight by Deepak Chopra
Perfect weight.
from the Perfect Health Library.
So there's multiple. It's a series.
Oh, he's got so many diet books. That's what I think initially propelled him into stardom was all his diet books.
Is he a star? Is he like?
Oh, he's a star. What do you mean? Is he a star?
I don't know. I've never really.
Oh, he's like the main in the realm of bullshit. He is the main man.
Yeah, he does this weird thing where he uses words like quantum
a lot
physics, but he also ties back to like super ancient like systems, like super ancient like Indian religious beliefs.
Is he from India?
Yeah.
No, but
It'd be great if he was like
was he
just
born?
adopted kid who lived in Connecticut, and then he just grew up and he's like, I could con all these people.
Yeah. So I decided to at least this week that Kenyon will do Perfect Weight, and I'll do God's Diet, just because we're the two fattest people.
Well, I
on
mean,
the
by
podcast.
comparison to Kwame, who looks like he is in a UNICEF ad.
Yeah.
I mean, good.
I think if you were in the UNICEF ad, they would donate all of the money. Like, I think even the kids in Africa would be like, I didn't think we were doing that bad. You know what I mean?
Did you gain any weight? Did you gain weight over Christmas?
Yeah, probably.
You look a little chubby. How much do you weigh?
I don't know. I haven't weighed myself in like years.
Oh God.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes I get skinnier, sometimes I get fatter. I don't.
Well, you're definitely on the fatter side.
How do you know? Do you just do a visual check on yourself, or?
Yeah, I look in the mirror every day. That's how I. Because I can't take my shirt off without apologizing. I'm on that level. I'm definitely not fit. I'm definitely not.
He's kind of muscular, Cole.
No, Cole works out.
When he takes
I don't
Yeah.
want. I just
I
lost weight.
have a layer of fat over my muscles though, so I have to get rid of that, which is why
You have a layer of fat over your fat.
No. So that's why I'm going on God's Diet, and I was looking at the praise for it, and I'm in luck.
How much is it?
The first person says he lost 90 pounds in less than 6 months on God's Diet.
That's like meth.
It's like being lost in the Andes and eating somebody.
Is God's diet Adderall?
Yeah. I mean,
that's a lot of weight.
But if God's diet is just Adderall, to be fair, like that would make sense. If the book was just eat Adderall,
like, yeah,
that
he built everything in 7 days. I'm like, yeah, I fucking know.
just tweaked out of his mind. He's like, well, fucking panda bears over here.
On day 7, I masturbated for 14 hours straight.
This guy like lost the whole Kwame in 6 months on God's diet.
He lost 90 fucking pounds?
Yeah.
I don't weigh 90 pounds, you piece of shit.
Yeah, you're like 85.
Fucking monster. Jesus.
Yeah.
How many bones have you had to sell just to pay rent? Also, we appreciate you, our neighbors up north, for commenting and saying that. How do you feel that the nation of Canada is worried about you, Kwame?
The Canadians said we're joking.
I just think it's great that the sovereign nation of Canada, who is not worried about legalizing weed, letting in tons of refugees, they're worried about Kwame. You know what I mean?
Number 3 on the agenda.
That'd be great. Justin Trudeau brings you up in a speech.
Yeah.
Like, we have to help the Kwameens of the world.
They're worried about Kwame, but then he appears on their doorstep and they're like, no, go back. Get out of here.
You'd be the first person deported from Canada. What does that even look? What is Canada? Do they deport people? Because I can't imagine them.
Yeah. Or they send them to...
You remember that like Haiti thing that happened here where some like statue had run out and we had to send like Haitians back? Like that happened in Canada like years back.
Did they send them back?
Yeah.
I can't imagine Canadian.
They got a lot of fucking space. What are you using all those forests?
It's hard. It's harder to get into Canada than it is the United States.
I don't think that's true.
No, it's true. They only
we accept a pretty good amount of people.
Yeah, they only accept like the highly qualified.
Most countries, it's pretty like we're probably like one of the easier good ones to get into.
And we're one of the only countries that has like the birthright citizenship thing, which a lot of
I already feel this conversation getting on a dark. You're like, all I'm saying is you can't just fucking.
What I'm saying is, so what is your? How did your family get here, Kenyon?
Yeah. So she opens God's diet with well, first once she gives out some acknowledgments. And she wants to acknowledge all the patients that she tested the diet on, and all.
This just feels like the fucking when the Nazis performed those horrible experiments in the concentration camps. Like to thank all the people, just a starving man. Like, you can't eat positive vibes. Children, it hurts. She's like, it is for a greater cause, Emily. Just visualize a cake.
I'd like to thank the Juden.
I'd like to thank John for dying on God's diet, but apparently he didn't believe.
What is it supposed to get you, God's diet? It just makes you, because deeper shit like enhances your soul or whatever.
Yeah, deeper enhances everything.
So what
God's diet is just it's more of just a weight loss thing.
And it's Christian. Is it Christian?
You don't have to be Christian to do it, but it's centered on the idea.
It's like being an American.
It's centered on the idea if God made it, then you can eat it. If he didn't make it, you can't eat it.
Oh, so you just eat healthier, more natural food?
Everything is natural. Like even shit they make in a lab comes from something natural that they make.
She says, if man has processed it, you can't eat it.
So you can't eat anything.
Like bread is wheat flour is natural. I guess you could go out in the fields and just eat wheat. But since man took it and processed it, you can't have bread anymore. We don't
process. To make bread, you take wheat. There's a process, but you just
fucking
heat it.
You're like throwing away the goals of civilization.
Yeah, what do you want? I sort of process that fucking chicken you're eating right now when I cook it on the stove.
Yeah, if man cooks it and then builds a house and then there's a lot of things that we did are pretty good. You know, there's a reason we have those rules. God's diet is dying from a virus.
Yeah, go eat your fucking raw blueberries and shit yourself to death. You don't want to fucking eat processed food.
Yeah.
And she says that's basically the first sentence of the book, and she says if you understand this, then you don't need to buy the book, and which is a weird.
Well, you said something very simple.
Yeah.
So, I don't know why. What's the other 360 pages?
I kind of appreciated that after so many of the books we read, that's like, and now your final task is to hand this to someone else.
Yeah. You're like, listen, if you understand this very basic nonsense that I said to you right now, you don't need to read the rest of this.
Yeah. So, yeah, she says if it wasn't around 10,000 years ago, you can eat it. And if you're not sure about the item, ask yourself, did God make this?
But even like fruits and vegetables, like they evolve. Like 10,000 years ago,
people talk about GMOs because they're dumb. And the thing is, it's like everything's
just changing. Yeah, bananas were not what they were now to 10,000 fucking years ago.
Well, this is a very.
This shit gets you killed.
This is a very
God's
rough
diet is dysentery.
Yeah, when I'm eating fucking raw eggs and shit.
This is a very rough scaffolding of a diet, okay? Because if you go more into it, it completely breaks down. Because some of the
So can you eat like
some of the things you can have, like she says, you can have one soda pop a day.
this sounds like a Mormon cool uncle. Hey, listen, you guys can have a soda. I know there's caffeine in there, but you got to help yourself to a Mountain Dew.
It's like the most artificial thing in the world.
Also, can you imagine if the only fun you had was like you come home from a long day and you're like, at least I got a Dr. Pepper. You know what I mean?
I don't understand how you could be.
I think
I can never be in a religion where I have to like apologize to a god for like drinking Coke. It's something that like I sin.
If she thinks soda's a vice, then I'm gonna make her cry.
Yeah, I feel like she just included that because she drinks soda, and she's like, I can't.
You could drink one soda pop a day and
You're
also
allowed
do
to
cocaine on occasion.
you're allowed to treat yourself to one guy that you meet in a bar who doesn't make you come and you cry that night.
Yeah.
And also, if you go out to like a restaurant or something, you have to ask the people, like, oh, did God make this? This is...
What an insane.
You have to go out to restaurants and be the worst person that they've seen all fucking night.
Yeah. But
I'd love to have French fries as a side, but I don't think that's really godly enough. If you really want to get on. What do you have here that you think the Christian God who put us here on earth made with his bare hands? Because I can tell you something.
Yeah. Sugars.
A fucking Olive Garden.
Yeah.
Did God
At a Chili's.
Did God know the microwave in the back?
Also,
made this
Chili's
shit,
probably
actually.
the cuisine equivalent of hell. Probably if we had to invent a hell, it would just be a Chili's.
Fucking the,
Like, is this-
frozen food that you're getting at Red Lobster. Did
Yeah.
God make this?
Did God make this? No. But Jesus in the back did.
Jesus in the back nuked it for about 45 seconds.
Yeah. So, God's diet, you can only eat, you gotta things that God made, which is bad. I mean, man has kind of made everything good that we're talking
Yeah, this shit people talk about like, processed foods, GMOs. It's like, yeah, that shit. It's called making food taste good. It's called making shit
ramen
good.
noodles keep a segment of this country alive. God damn it! You think all of us could afford just raw meat?
Yeah, it's
and
fucking.
vegetables all the
Also,
time?
like when you eat like that, I've eaten with like those people going out and getting like vegan fucking non-processed. It fucking tastes like shit. It
it's
tastes
bad.
fucking terrible. My
Yeah,
roommate,
vegan stuff is bad. She's not saying you should eat vegan stuff.
But I'm saying like
I
unprocessed.
like how we're like, sure, she's saying this outrageous. You shouldn't eat processed.
She
But-
doesn't
but
say-
Also, she's not vegan. Okay, she's not animal.
No, she's not.
She's still logical, right?
She's dumb. She's not an awful, miserable human being.
yeah.
I mean,
also,
you can
is
add,
that
you
really
can
that
add,
insane
you
to
can
eat
cook
healthier?
things.
Yeah. So can you just?
But there's a difference between being like, I'm gonna eat healthier. Maybe I'll try to use like fresh fruits and vegetables, and be like, no, I can't touch a Cheez-It because God decided.
It's like a religious spin on like the paleo diet.
I
It's
think
yeah,
like-
that
pretty
paleo
much.
shit. That paleo shit sucks. I've had the food. It tastes like shit.
Yeah, but I mean, if you just
what do you mean it tastes like? It's like a steak. How does
Yeah.
a steak taste like
If you
shit?
I thought their thing was the whole they don't eat like anything processed or whatever the fuck.
A
right?
steak is not processed.
I'm talking about the paleo people. They don't touch like Cheez-Its or any of the other.
Yeah,
good
well,
shit.
Cheez-Its are bad for you.
Yeah, but
Yes.
Cheez-Its taste
You-
so. I know that. I didn't say they're
Cheez-Its
good
is
for
always
you.
his
That's like a
go.
I
reasonable
didn't say
diet.
they're good for you. I didn't say
Cheez-Its
they're
was
good
his
for you.
go-to last time
I
for
didn't
like
say-
good food.
I didn't say they're good. Listen,
Good food is just anything under $3, you piece of
I didn't
shit.
say they're good. Oh, I'm sorry. I was a work kid and was eating fucking steakhouses and shit. I didn't say they're good for you.
I
I'm
like
saying
how
that
the
they're
diet
good.
also, if you
They're
can't
good.
have Cheez-Its, the diet is bullshit. What diet do you think you could be on where you can eat salt-covered cancer poison regularly all the time? Yeah, you're trying to lose weight. You can't just eat just literal gobs of salt.
Human dog food.
You fucking animal.
They're good.
What a paleo diet. You can't even shove Doritos in your mouth. You can't eat Taco Bell. Is it even a diet?
So you don't like Cheez-Its?
I like Cheez-Its.
They're fucking
That's
good,
why I
eh?
look like this, motherfucker. You didn't tell me that, like... I do understand if I was trying to eat healthier, Cheez-Its, it's not in the food group. You know, in the government photos, do they have if there was a Kwame food group, it would just be Cheez-Its,
Oh my
other people's fries, and then anything my mom sends me. And that's all,
Jesus
that's your
Christ.
entire diet.
Oh shit. All right, so what can I have? Because according to this
The
shit,
food he's going to tell you
according to
you've
this
never
shit,
even heard of.
according to this shit,
What do you
I
mean?
can't eat.
It's just food that was around this food, you gotta ask yourself: did God make it?
That shit
Did God?
sucks, dude.
Did God make Cheetos and cheese it?
You know what I had for
If
dinner
God
last
made
night?
Cheetos, that'd be a sad.
Did
fucking
God make the quesarito? Because if he didn't make the quesarito,
The devil made the quesarito. So
if he didn't make the quesarito, I might be out.
So sugar is something that's also processed. So you can't have sugar in anything.
But sugar is not sugar is in things like naturally. What do you mean it's processed?
Yeah, but to get it out of things, you gotta process it. It's the same with bread. Like
So you can't have bread.
But bread is just I bake fucking wheat and it's so you
that's
can't
not
like, cook
that's
shit,
not
you can't
exactly
bake it.
what bread is. It's not like you just
Okay, but like
Also, Chloe, do you know how people make bread?
10,000 years ago. I'm just
answer this.
this is probably how
I'm
he
not
thinks
saying-
Cheez-Its
I'm
is.
not
Like
saying-
you
I'm
just
not
take cheese and you bake it.
I'm not saying I know for sure. I'm not saying I know for sure.
You don't.
But 10,000 years ago, how do they make bread? I mean, I'm assuming it's some kind of cooking process, right? You fucking bake
They didn't
shit.
have-
You bake. So is it like processing to fucking bake wheat?
Yes, that is the definition.
So
of
so according to this.
Stop saying a very reasonable thing.
So according to this
absurd.
crazy fucking woman, you can't have anything that's just cooked.
That's
No,
not
you
how
can have-
bread's made. Have you been to somebody's house? and
10,000 years ago, they weren't in a fucking factory making bread. They baked wheat into fucking bread.
So if you're over at my house, right, and I'm like, "Do you want a sandwich?" I'm like, "Hold up, let me just put some wheat in a frying pan, make some bread real quick." Has that ever been how? How do you think bread is made?
I don't think you fry it. You probably bake it somehow. I have no clue. I don't know.
Do you even know what bread's made out of?
Do you know how bread's made?
Yeah,
How's it made?
you get the fuck. It's like
Flour, you bake it and shit, right?
Yeah, that's more to you bake it.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's not what it said.
That's what I said. I said you bake it. Go on with what you're saying. What can we eat in this diet?
Well, you can eat anything that
If you say God's made, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth. What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Does she give examples? Like, does she like have a list of like this is what is okay?
Yeah, she does.
So
I saw, wait, go back. I saw a pyramid.
could you just eat like steak and broccoli? Like, is that technically so you can cook food?
Well, you can't eat steak because steak is cooked. Steak is processed.
Well, I don't think it goes that extreme.
You can't eat bread. It is that extreme.
You can
You
eat
can cook food. I don't think she could give you like.
You can cook food. Cooking food isn't processing it. Processing is it making it into something it wasn't before. Like
but that is what
But it
cooking
is-
is.
No,
Wait,
That
and
is
what
the
do you
definition of
mean? Bread is still wheat. Steak is still
Bread
beef.
is not wheat.
Bread is not just wheat.
bread is wheat. It's a yeast. It's well, the
yeast
wheat
is
is
like
processed into flour, and then yeast is added. Sugar and salt is added.
Can you drink alcohol?
No alcohol.
You can't drink alcohol.
No
Alcohol is
Any diet you have is not going to be like, hey, can I drink booze
Oh.
of poison?
Also, alcohol is like liquid bread. If you can't have bread, you can't.
No,
have...
you
But
can-
not necessarily,
you
wine
can drink,
and
You can
shit.
drink not wine, but you can drink
Sake,
like you
the
can drink
fucking-
hard liquor
That's true.
and your
yeah.
diet a lot, and it wouldn't have zero carbs from the
That's
vodka.
true. Is wine?
Vodka has
is wine a lot
carbs.
of carbs? Wine
I
isn't
don't
that
think
bad
it.
for
I
you,
don't
dude.
think it does.
Yeah.
Wine has a lot of carbs.
No. I think like whiskey has like almost no carbs.
No, they have a lot.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Is it
Because I tried to do keto before, and I was like, my number one
Doesn't
question
whiskey
was
have,
like,
like-
can I still get wasted?
Doesn't whiskey have like rye and shit? Isn't rye something to do with bread?
You know, I think fair assumption. I think I am wrong about everything.
This
So I mean,
this
if
is
you
gonna be
wanna-
the stupidest pot. How is bread? How is whiskey made? How is any of this
Yeah,
made?
anyone who's listening to the podcast would be like, "Oh, I've been listening to 3 like legally dumb people for half a year." And I'm
How
like,
is it-
wait, no.
Is
No,
whiskey you just take rye and you bake it?
You don't even understand how 2 things you probably eat on a daily basis work.
The podcast will end with us dying because we tried to make our own alcohol and poison.
I don't know if whiskey has carbs, but it has what I need. Okay, so let's end with that.
No, Cole, throw some of that rice in there. Throw some of the spices.
Rice you can have though, because rice isn't processed.
But isn't it though?
No,
Yeah, wait, you can't eat like raw rice.
rice
can you?
grains. It's
Raw
not
ri-
processed.
But you have to. I guess you can cook. I guess so. That's allowed.
So
Is raw rice like poisonous and shit? Yeah, can you like clean? You gotta clean food. That's like processing, right?
no, cleaning is not processed.
Dude, cleaning shit and like getting shit out of shit is.
Wait a minute. Did you just say raw rice is poisonous?
I said is raw rice poisonous.
Do you-
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's bad. I don't know if it's.
That's why he eats Cheez-Its, because he knows that's at least not
I don't
poison.
know. I don't know if it's bad for
So
you.
you think anytime anyone takes a bag of raw rice, they're just walking on a needle's edge?
I'm
from
talking about
being
like
dead?
okay, but that's not raw rice. That's processed rice.
So you think they have?
So look, all right, look,
biohazard
listen.
suit.
Would you just go eat rice that you found out in the fucking
Would you just
field?
eat any raw thing ever?
No, because it could kill me.
Wild rice?
That's not why. It's not why.
because it can kill
It's
you.
not edible. It just wouldn't be good.
It's not edible because it can kill you.
So you can't have sugar because sugar is processed, but you can have honey because to get honey, all you have to do is
Assault a bee.
Yeah, steal them from a hard.
and she says, although honey is sugar and it's bad for you,
isn't honey like very healthy for you?
no, it's like it's an artificial. It's a sweetener. It's not
good. I thought honey's like pretty good for you, right?
I mean,
Or not obviously not like fucking by the jar, but. But I'm saying, just eating it like every once in a while.
What do you think? Because I'm very curious what the Kwame thought pattern is.
Honey is good. I've been told that honey is good
Cheez-Its
for you.
and honey, probably
Honey is good for
ideal
you.
combo for a
Honey's
healthy
good.
diet. Honey is good taste-wise. I don't know if honey is it's just sugar.
You don't even disagree with me. Yeah, honey's good for you. You know it's good.
honey's sugar.
No, it's not. I wouldn't say, like, if you told everyone, like, yeah, I got it together, I'm eating a lot of honey now. No one would be like, oh.
Like I said, not by the jar. But having like honey like once or twice a day.
But can something be good for you if you can't eat it by the jar?
What'd you say?
How could something be good for you if you
Everything's bad
can't?
if you're eating too much. If I ate like nothing but broccoli for like 2 weeks straight, that wouldn't be healthy.
It would be healthier than eating nothing but honey, though.
It'd be healthier than whatever you're doing right now. It'd be a major improvement over a bag of Cheez-Its and your roommate's leftover from Chili's.
Cheez-Its are good. That's a staple. It's staple
Man,
of my
at
food.
least
Staple
eat better
food.
terrible snacks.
Staple food group.
At least have better snacks.
I like the white cheddar because it's a little tangy.
Oh, gross. Shut up.
You like the white cheddar Cheez-Its? Oh, that's a good one, man.
What's the worst Cheez-It? By far.
It's the
That's
best
like,
Cheez-It.
I don't even know where they make those.
It's the best.
It's the
He pulls out a day comes over. He pulls out just a platter, and all it is just Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its and
I
a
got the
40 ounce of
pretzel.
King Cobra.
I got the pretzel. I got
Kwame's
pretzel
ideal.
flavor. I got. Beer
He's like, I
flavor.
got my charcuterie plate.
Got the Tabasco. Tabasco in case you're
Wine
getting a
and
little
cheese.
spicy tonight. So you can't
Man.
eat Cheez-Its.
Is that a
No.
list?
You can eat honey, but she says use it sparingly because in the past, to collect honey, you kind of had to die for it by going to the bees.
That's not true, though, right?
I mean,
That is-
someone's
that-
definitely
and so
died
you
collecting it.
should only eat it if you feel like you would die for it.
What
Well, who would die for honey?
What the literal fuck?
I don't even want to walk across the room for honey most of the time.
What are you talking about?
Who's gonna die for honey? What a useless, miserable
I don't
death.
spend $6, much less fucking die.
Can you imagine someone being like, "It's for my people," and then you just go and die attacked by 1,000 bees?
There's almost no things that I would get willingly stung to death to fucking do.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even do it for my family. I would be quite honest with you.
No.
Okay, yeah.
So every time you have a little bit of honey, you should always remember those that died before in the past. So basically, her thing boils down to like, so God made a pig, right? So you can eat pork. God did not make bread. Like bread is not something you can find out in the wild,
Okay.
which is why you can't eat it.
But am I allowed to like clean and process? Like if I eat like a wild blueberry, that can
Because
kill me.
bread is something else
I don't
entirely.
think this
If I
is that
eat-
complicated of a talking point.
Can I eat like jam, like crushed blueberries and shit like that, and strawberries to make like jam and shit?
Man,
Can
I
eat
feel
that?
like it's again
Because now
not.
it's
He,
fucking-
he said what it was like 30 fucking minutes
Well,
ago.
I don't know
And we're
what's
still.
what-
We made fun of it. It was a little ridiculous. Do you need to ask him about every little? It's just, can you eat shit that you would find?
No,
You could cook it.
You,
or-
you can't eat jam because you're adding sugar to it. You could eat just
I guess
crushed
it
up
does have-
fruit, but you're adding sugar to jam.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so you can't eat like flour. You can't eat sugar. You can have oil for some reason. I don't know.
Wait,
if
you can have oil.
I don't know if she just thinks oil is like found like naturally, like oil.
Yeah, well, like cooking oil, like we were drilling
Like,
that
'cause
shit.
Cooking oil is very processed. I
Just
feel like
stop with
I feel
that.
like if you build a diet around a conceit, you should really stick to that
Yeah,
conceit.
you don't get the title of your book God's Diet and
Yeah.
you fucking break all your fucking rules.
No. But you can, and she just did. No, I mean she just did. So
She said
I
you
mean,
can have
yeah,
Jell-O.
yeah, she's insane.
I see that on the screen. It says you can have. It says Jello is is processed, but it opens up a lot of variety in meals. So she says it's okay.
Doesn't even. You can just have Jello. There's only one type of Jello. That's not even her bullshit. Isn't even true to her own bullshit.
Don't some people make like gelatin? And they put like fucking fruits.
Yeah, it's gross. It's all gross.
Bad time.
It's the variety
just
you don't want.
Just sit here eating an animal tumor. Just color. It's just like colorful fat.
Is it fat and just fat and sugar?
It's just animal fat. Yeah, no good. If you found out the truth about most things, you wouldn't enjoy anything.
I hate it. It's fucking disgusting. It is absolutely gross.
Yeah, but you're like a big the white cheddar Cheez-It fan, so maybe don't throw your snobbery at how you're better than Jello.
I used to like those Jello. My grandma made them a lot when I was a kid for Easter. They were like Jello like eggs. And I liked them because they were like pretty big, and you wouldn't think you could swallow them whole, but because they were Jello, you could swallow like an egg that's bigger than your.
So you were a sociopath at like 9 years old.
Yeah, like you didn't say taste. Like fucking... I could swallow what I thought was life.
When you were in third grade, you were like, "Yes, I love this food because I can feel myself grasping on the life as I choke to death."
I don't know. It was like when you see the snake like eating the egg that's bigger
that's
than
not.
its
I never like. I want to be that. You weirdo.
You fucking monster.
Cole's quiet all the time because he's learned if he shares his opinions, he would just be committed. He would just be in a mental institution.
What kind of fucking 8-year-old is just sitting there thinking that shit?
Oh, the last thing she also said is that you can have diet pills or other pills.
You would take Adderall, great. You also could just take a bunch of speed and you just lose weight that way.
Why did you say that? Yeah.
No one's talking about the Tennessee diet, which is just methamphetamine. Which actually, I mean, it'll work.
Yeah.
Meth and deep fried Oreos, baby.
It'll work.
You can take pills because God made doctors, and so therefore by transference, when doctors made pills, God made pills.
But literally, that logic destroys the entire book.
It does, but she had to fit.
God also made Colonel Sanders, so you could just eat anything from KFC 100% and just fucking live that diet. So...
And she also said God made some things poisonous, so respect him and don't eat those. What? I don't eat those out of respect for God.
It's not a fucking 3-year-old.
Someone's just sitting around like, man, those snake eggs look so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go on that diet. Hopefully, lose a few pounds. I could afford to lose a few pounds. Right now.
A few.
Yeah, just a few. I don't want to get to your level. I mean,
you want to be? How much do you weigh right now?
210.
210. Get down to like 160.
No, that would be skeleton levels for me. I weighed same height I am now. I weighed 140 when I first started college.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, and I gained 80 pounds throughout college. So
thanks for the trivia, Cole. So we can get back to the podcast.
It's a freshman 15. I mean,
you're
allowed to stop. You just got to keep. You're not supposed to like multiply it by 2.
Cole's a prodigy. You know, you really took it to another level.
I did the. Have you ever heard of the gallon of milk a day diet?
No.
What the fuck is that?
That's a diet. You go on that if you want to gain weight.
That's not a diet. That is not a diet. That is not a gallon of milk.
That sounds like a torture thing. That sounds like what you feed prisoners in your basement.
What are you talking about?
They call it the Go Mad diet. Gallon of milk
sounds
a
like
day.
what someone would do.
It sounds like a process like in Guantanamo. The Go Mad diet.
Because I really need to gain weight fast, and that's the best way. The only thing is it's a lot of dairy, so a lot of people who do it like start breaking out in acne and stuff. And,
Jesus.
Did you do that?
No, I can handle.
Oh, he was like, no, I drank a gallon of milk a day. Did I get acne? No. I didn't do anything crazy like that. No. Okay, so what do I have to do, Cole?
Well, I picked out for you. I did the perfect weight just because I know you and Deepak have a very good relationship.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, my favorite author
from the last podcast. I remember you agreed with a lot of his things at first.
Well, it's only because you were so wrong that I sided with Deepak Chopra. It was like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yeah. So So his book is based on the ancient Indian science of Ayurveda.
Also, I don't like that in a lot of these new agey stuff, they always go to like, we got to look to the ancients. And it was like, you mean when half of all childbirths ended in death? Is that really like who we want to look at? Like they had stuff together. Like, the people that run the Salem witch trials? What was their diet when they were burning people at the stake? Did they took a lot of calories?
There's also, there are places that are. I try to show out some countries, but there's places that are living pretty ancient right now.
Yeah.
I don't see you going and trying to find the ancient Sudanese art of clitoral circumcision.
Yeah. No, I just don't there's a
Ancient
reason. We
Saudi
live
region,
longer for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were skinnier back then.
Yeah, because they had less food in life.
Yeah, because all the food went to the fucking
if you're
pharaoh.
fat, your body is literally overdosing on good. There's too much good around you that the fact that our country is so fat means we have so few problems. We have so much food, people are eating too much of it, which is insane. Most of our history, people have been starving to death, fighting for food. Now we have to just not eat. Our lives are so good, it's killing us.
And so before you can do this one, I had to send you a little cosmopolitan type quiz or whatever.
So this is a strange diet where instead of being based on health or cholesterol or anything, it seems that you got to take a personality quiz and that'll determine what your diet should be. So you could be out with your friends, you're like, hey, you want a piece of pizza? And you're like, no, I'm an introvert.
Yeah. And you got the Kappa body type. Characteristics of a Kappa type is a solid, powerful build with great physical strength and endurance.
I don't know if a beanbag chair is a powerful build. You know what I mean? I don't think I have. None of those things are true so far, so maybe I answered the questions wrong. Because nobody's ever seen me and they're like, that's a powerful build.
Yeah.
That hunched over, hung over at 12 in the afternoon.
The last thing I think...
Plastic bag.
I don't get, when I look at you, great physical strength is not a thing.
Not the first thing that comes to mind.
I'm pretty sure. Do you work out? You lift weights and shit?
Well, I mean, what do you think my answer to that question is going to be? Do I work? Yeah. I lift weights and then ignore everything else in my life.
I thought you do work out, right?
No.
Oh, really? Don't you run or whatever?
I was running on the weekends for a while.
You don't look like
running
it.
isn't.
What do you?
Running doesn't build strength though or anything.
I mean, you lose weight, you feel healthier.
You lose weight, but
Do
it's
you?
not.
I was running on the
I
weekends
don't-
for a while, but I haven't since in the last.
I don't
Oh,
call.
so, wait, yeah, Are you supposed to do it on the weekend? Are you supposed to do it once a day? Not on.
Some-
I don't have the time tomorrow.
Sometimes you run so much you end up looking like a weaker person. I
Yeah,
remember,
but I'd be fine with as long as
No.
I could take my shirt off and not apologize. I'm
but,
fine with.
But
You know what tells you it makes
I'm
you look like
talking
a weak
about
person?
The build, strong and physical. I remember this one guy. He was training for a marathon, and my grandpa hadn't seen him in a while, and so he comes up and talks to us, and then he leaves, and my grandpa's like, he looks like a cancer patient now, just because of how much weight he's lost.
Yeah, but
and
I'd
stuff.
love to look like a cancer patient. You
Really?
know what I mean? Yeah, in terms of if I was skinny here, I don't care.
Okay,
I'll get malaria for a diet.
but that's not the Kappa type. That's a solid.
So far the count is 100% wrong. I don't know what I answered,
Yeah.
but
You're slow and graceful in action.
wouldn't say that's true at all. Kind of pace a lot. Very nervous.
Tranquil, relaxed personality.
Has anyone got that from listening to this podcast? Has anyone thought, that Kenyon fellow, real tranquil, relaxed, easygoing man?
And then this sentence was just as cool, smooth, thick, and pale.
That's the saddest Tinder bio I've ever heard in my life. Cool, smooth, thick, and pale.
The thick and pale. That works.
The fat and pasty we can. Now we're talking. It looks like the
No,
personality.
wait. You used to be fat though when you were younger.
Yeah, I was a fatter lad.
It also says you're slow to grasp new information.
So I'm stupid. It says I'm fat and stupid. Well, thanks, Cole. Thanks for. I don't even know if this is a real thing or these are just opinions Cole's written about me
yeah,
after hanging out with me for a while. Where it's just he's just a fat, pasty idiot, and that's.
so
So what's the perfect weight for a fat, pale idiot like me?
yeah. Honestly, looking at all these personality types, I think you got the worst one. I can't imagine.
What did you answer that gave you this shit?
I don't know, man. It was 1 out of 3. I forget.
Because another PETA type that says sharp intellect, precise articulate speech, blonde hair.
It says fat, pasty moron.
It says although you're slow to grasp new information, you retain it longer than other types.
Oh, so there's a plus side. Learning disability. I'm happy to hear that.
We just have to tell it to you 20 times.
Yeah, and then forever. And then it's just smooth sailing.
It's locked in.
All right.
Then you can never.
What is the whole perfect weight mean?
Yeah, so it's based off the Indian science, and so the body types, they're based off the three doshas of Ayurveda. And the doshas are yours, the kapha type, the pitta, the vata, and everyone is a unique combination of these three doshas. And so
we're one of these three douches.
so everyone's a combination, so everyone's a unique combination of these doshas. They're unique and they're perfect, and everyone has a perfect weight. You can only understand your perfect weight once you understand the totality of your mind.
What? He's you need to get a master's in psychology to realize you shouldn't have man boobs. Is that what you're telling me right now? Once you understand the limits of imagination, only then can you get the six-pack. I don't...
Yeah, he says a body is not... It's not a thing.
Yeah, except it is.
It's
a thing.
It's a process.
I like how even
it is
basic diet book, he manages to get into some metaphysics, esoteric.
Your body is very much in the physical world when it spills over next to me on the bus. It's not metaphysical when I fucking.
It's also like, do I need to get into a philosophy 101 debate over whether or not my body's exist? Yeah, it exists, and it's too much, and I want to get rid of it. I don't need to. He's just being like, well, does it even exist? I'm like, my fat didn't exist, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Yeah, he says your body, it's not exactly a thing, it's a process, because by the time you finish reading this book, your body is actually a whole new body.
Not true at all.
And this is because every breath you take, you're inhaling like 22 million pieces of atoms from the universe, and every breath you exhale, you're expelling 22 million pieces of your own kidneys and hearts out into the universe.
That makes sense.
And so by the end of the book, you've done that so much that your body has been rebuilt, and you're actually sharing organs with other people because they're doing the same thing. And so because of all this, you actually have the organs of Genghis Khan or Jesus.
So, like, Cole has become so desensitized to reading bad stuff. He can say the most insane stuff to us, but, like, matter-of-factly, as if that's not just the ramblings of a schizophrenic man. Where he's like, no. You just breathe out and you breathe in the atoms of everyone else who's ever lived. And yes, I am Jesus Christ. I am Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And so that's your body. It's a process. And so you need to, I don't know how that actually relates to his diet.
No, I don't know any of this actually relates to reality.
Somehow that comes around. He comes around to his diet, and it first begins. You're supposed to eat when you're hungry and eat when you're not, and this puts you in touch with your body more. And to know when you're hungry.
Well, that's just a good habit.
Yeah, but to know when you're hungry, you got to place your hand on your stomach, and so it directs awareness into your stomach, and you know what's happening down there. And
what?
Yeah. So that's...
Jesus. So can you imagine being on a diet and somebody's like, "Hey, you want to go grab something to eat?" You're like, let me check if I'm hungry real quick. Unlocking hunger for like you're a Power Ranger that needs to do a real check. He's like, "What are you doing?" You're like, "Just centering my awareness."
He's saying I'm hungry.
You know when you're hungry.
Yeah, but some people eat like if you're out with friends, you might just eat because everyone's eating. It's a social.
Been hungry probably in the last 3 years, but I know if I stopped eating all the time, I'd probably get hungry. I just never let it get to that horrible point.
Yeah, and so after you've done that little process, so now you're kind of more in touch with your body, and then the real diet starts, and this has a lot of rules, probably more rules than I've seen in any other diet. So you're supposed to have a light, no breakfast, light dinner, and you're supposed to have your biggest meal at lunchtime, at the same time every day too. So if you eat it at 12, you have to eat it at 12 for the whole diet. You eat it at lunchtime because that's when the sun is highest in midday, and that means your digestion is the best.
Wait. So your diet is revolving around the sun?
Why does that affect my digestion?
It just does. That's also
he's like Cole is a white guy that's joined ISIS, and he's like so committed to a garbage ideology. He doesn't even. You can't even.
Why would
it just does.
It's like they just do.
If you look at it in terms of doshas, the sun, when it's at the highest, it's also in its pita phase,
You look at it like a douche.
which is
Yeah. If you look at it like it doesn't make sense, it makes sense.
so because it's in its pita phase, that means your digestion tract is running a little faster, and so
This is gonna get me fired from my job. We're like, you want to eat right now? And you're like, nah, the sun isn't pita phase yet. So
Yeah.
I basically could only have like a super heavy lunch.
yeah, super heavy lunch, same time every day.
That sounds fucking miserable. That sounds like such an awful time. When you're out with your friends, like, hey, you want to get some food? You're like, oh, sorry, actually, I had my one meal for the day,
Yeah.
so I can't.
It's kind of just a poverty diet. Me and Kwame are kind of already on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a super heavy lunch for about a year and a fucking half.
Yeah, super heavy lunch of Subway sandwich, and then everything else I can't afford. So
Yeah. This might also be a cultural thing, but just because, like in Mexico, if you go there, it's kind of centered around that. Like lunch is the
no, you gotta have like a lunch and a dinner. Just breakfast is kind of light.
no, but lunch is the biggest meal.
Aren't you Latino? Why are you?
I'm not from Mexico.
Oh.
Yeah,
Isn't that the same cultural kind of thing?
No.
Oh well.
yeah, because dinner, like when I was there for my study abroad, like a lot of restaurants were closed for dinner. Like lunch was the only time they were open.
Wait, really? So it's like 8 p.m. like restaurants aren't open.
Yeah, the only places that were open were like road stands and stuff. People would get like 2 hours off, work to go home and eat lunch. It was
Yeah, I've never heard of this in my life. I think.
really.
Yeah.
2 hours off.
Yeah, siesta, take a little nap.
It's not siesta. 2 hours off. What the? I wish I had a 2 hour fucking break. It's also weird that that's how fuck this country is. They were like, no, you should get like 25 minutes to scarf food down your throat and run to take a piss, and
No,
then you work all
every
day.
job is just mad you're not a machine. It's just kind of it resents you on some level.
But
much-
it's not, this is the only place where it's else in like Korea, where it's like, yeah, you gotta like just fuck. Everybody else is like, no, yeah, you get like an hour and a half so you can like be a person.
I've
Like, no,
always
you eat in 5 minutes and you get two minutes to piss, then you come back and you fucking work.
I've always had an hour plus lunch.
Oh yeah, but you actually tried in life. I mean, working at bullshit jobs where they just want you to give 15 minutes and then you're back serving people bananas or whatever the fuck we do.
Well, when I worked at that pizza place, we would have our lunch. We wouldn't have a lunch break.
Oh, restaurants don't believe in civil
So you
rights.
would get a 9 hour. You have a 9 hour shift. You would just stand there in the kitchen and just like eat like a little mini pizza they made you for about 5 minutes, and you go back to work.
No. Restaurants, again, while workers' rights happened, they just avoided restaurants.
So I was like,
Restaurants
what the
expect you to work for
fuck?
like 9 hours doing intense stuff and then be fine with
They
it.
would give you lunch. That's nice.
We didn't have a lunch break. You had 5 minutes to eat, and it wasn't set. So it was just whenever you look kind of tired, the manager would walk over and be like, "Hey, do you want to eat?" And I'd be like, "Yes, please. I'm gonna pass out."
Did you get a smoke break?
No, there was no breaks. You fucking.
I think you're legally entitled to a smoke break.
You weren't legally. Well, a lot of people who work there weren't legally entitled to employment in this country, so I don't think they really gave a shit.
Yeah. So you give yourself daily sesame oil massages.
What?
And you do
How's
this.
this keep getting more ridiculous if you keep saying this with a calm cadence?
And
You're saying that the way for me to lose weight is I have to give myself a massage.
What is
Sounds
sesame?
impossible.
Yeah, I don't know how to give my.
Yeah. I've never. The closest I've come to massage is jerking
Yeah, I think that's
myself
just masturbation.
Yeah.
with raw silk gloves,
I didn't even know those.
What the
existed.
fuck are raw silk gloves?
unprocessed silk.
So I have to.
Where
somehow,
the fuck do I get
I
unprocessed
gotta
silk?
take out a loan, travel to China, fight a man.
No, you
get
get
these- yeah.
you gotta import some silkworms from China. Let them weave their little threads, and then
What does that even look like?
I don't know what it looks like. I've never.
Unprocessed silk is just like the stringy bullshit. How's that?
I don't know what it looks like. Okay, just go out somehow, find it. Give
Is it
yourself.
expensive? Can you buy that?
No. I'm not doing that. I live at my uncle's house. He's not gonna walk in. If he walked in on me massaging myself with gloves on, and then he was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to lose weight." He was like, "Get out, get all your stuff and get out."
Also, I feel like that should put you on like a watch list if you're at Walgreens. Like, can I get some raw silk?
Like
what do
he
you-
likes to choke his victims. Okay? That's all that's for.
Yeah, he likes to give a little comfort to them before they die. Once a day a week, you should also go on a liquid diet.
That's not it. That's like what people do in the Andes. That's if I was crashed in an airplane crash and I just was drinking only water.
You never had like a juice diet? Like a juice diet?
No, it's not a diet.
You cleanse.
a fast.
You cleanse.
Yeah.
It's not true. Yeah, starving to death really cleanses the body.
You can liquefy anything you want to. You could liquefy. Well, you can. He says try to avoid like liquefying pizza, but if you have to on your liquid day.
I like that the diet is not even healthy. It's just like, no, you can eat like liquid pizza if you want. It's just you shouldn't. But it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait, so why should you eat liquid? Oh, because you're stupid. I want you to suffer. Because you paid $30 for this book and go fuck yourself. So fucking throw pizza in a blender and go to hell.
Yeah.
Are you gonna eat some drink some food if we blend it for you?
Yeah, sure.
What would you prefer?
Pizza, probably.
Pizza?
Just try
You
that.
prefer liquid pizza? I would just eat a soup or something. Not
No. He's gonna blend food. You want pizza?
Oh, it's
Would
pizza.
we have to add water? Or would that
Yeah, you probably have to add some water.
Would that
Now. You
become
can't.
water
At
by itself?
some places, they probably put so much oil on the pizza that you could just.
Yeah.
Put it
yeah, look at you blend it. You want pepperoni? Or you're more of just like a 3 cheese man.
Oh, pepperoni, dude.
Okay. He also says avoid exercising on those days you're having a liquid diet
Because you'll pass out and die. So you have no energy. Because you can't walk up a flight of stairs.
Let's do a fucking elliptical.
Avoid getting off the couch since you're just going to be pale as a sheet. Almost dying.
You wouldn't want to blow all the liquid out of your ass when you're lifting weights.
Yeah. As an aside, this is not really part of the diet, but he also says avoid Oriental food in restaurants.
This is how the personal bias comes out
Is
here.
he?
Of his like weird hatred against China for the nuclear treaty that they signed with India.
Does he say Oriental?
Yeah, he says. You think I would change what he said into Oriental? Come on. No, he said Oriental. Yeah.
When was this book written? 1812?
Yeah.
Oriental.
I mean, he probably still says it nowadays. Like you would think he's.
All right, well, I guess I'm gonna massage myself with some gloves and start saying Oriental. So,
Yeah, he also says packaged foods is bad for you. Not just because of like salt or whatever, but because they have no life force.
oh yeah, no, yeah. The thing about ramen noodles is it has no soul. That's why it's a problem.
It has no connection to the greater like universe. But
To be fair, I would say that about most processed food. Right? Like, this is from hell. This is
yeah. Only packaged foods you should eat are the ones that are packaged in nature, like a banana.
that sounds like a 3-year-old that took acid. Bananas are just nature's candy bars, and that's the wrapper that I'm taking out.
Yeah, and the last thing he said, herbal supplements are great, and it's because herbs are a link between the body and the larger universe.
He really throws that
The
universe
larger
around.
universe being Deepak's website where he sells herbal supplements.
Just throws universe and quantum mechanics just willy-nilly.
He says they're essentially manifestations of light because they get their energy from the sun.
What an actual piece of shit.
And so you're ingesting, when you eat them, you're ingesting the cosmic power of the universe, and you're literally putting yourself in touch with the source of life. So yeah, that's the perfect weight, Kenyon.
All right. Well, I guess I'll just start putting pizza in blenders and massaging myself and see what happens.
So we're back after our respective diets. They were about, I don't know. I got pretzel cut in my throat. Sorry.
Christ.
Supposed to improve yourself. You can't even open with this. You're still so fat you can't even speak
He
clearly.
tries to use his beer to wash pretzels down his fucking throat.
Back for my diet. I'm sorry. My throat is clogged with junk food. Let me wash it down with beer real quick. It's a real thing we just saw Cole do on a podcast modeled around self-improvement.
So I did my diet for about 2 weeks. How long did you do yours for?
A week.
A week? All right. So I started my diet. I was around 208 pounds, and by the end I was around 204. So I did lose weight.
I didn't weigh myself, but I do know that nothing happened.
Also,
Did you do all the shit?
Deepak Chopra, I don't even think recommends weighing yourself.
Yeah,
'cause
he
that's
doesn't
not-
believe in that the body exists, let alone that there is weight. He's like, no, don't have a scale because how can you weigh what is not there? It's like the Schrodinger's cat of pseudoscience.
Yeah. I'm actually surprised that I lost weight because even though I went on the diet, I wasn't really healthy with it.
What were you eating?
So I had a lot of deep fried Brussels sprouts, a lot of deep fried
That's not even food.
What the
I think.
fuck?
Cauliflower.
I'm trying to bring that up like a normal thing. I was like, I was eating my deep fried Brussels sprouts. I was like, what?
Yeah. First off, Brussels sprouts, much less deep fried Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, you're like, so I was on a diet, deep frying Brussels sprouts, and it's like, what? How far removed are you from just
where the
normal
fuck did you
human?
eat deep fried Brussels sprouts?
I just had Brussels sprouts and I put them
You know
deep
those
fried
like
them.
feral children that they find? They try to like make them back to society. I feel like that's how Cole is. Where I'm like, dude, what do you think is normal?
Yeah. I had some Scotch eggs too, which
Those
are
good. You made those.
I made them for Kwame before, but they're basically an egg covered in sausage and then covered in breading and deep fried. But
Wait, so you are on a diet and you're eating deep fried sausage, essentially a cholesterol grenade?
yeah,
And you're like, this is to lose weight and improve my health.
No, it's all within her diet, but I couldn't have breading on the outside because breading is processed.
Oh, well, yeah, now it's just an egg
So-
and sausage.
So I took a pack of pork rinds and crushed those.
How are you alive? Have you not?
And so
if we cut him open right now, he's just gonna
Do you
bleed.
mean pork
salt.
rinds like the snack?
It's like fried animal fat.
Yeah, like
No.
the snack pork, like you took the chips kind of thing.
yeah,
You
yeah.
took that and used that to cook.
yeah, pork rinds are the fried animal skin of a pig, and
sorry.
so
So, like, the ones
It
you buy-
actually was worse. It's not the fat.
Yeah,
it's
the
skin.
meat, the ones you buy at like CVS and you use that as an ingredient.
Yeah.
yeah, so I crushed those up and I used that as a breading. So it was
How
an
was
egg covered by sausage, covered by pork skin, and then deep fried. It was delicious.
You have like 1 week left of.
Yeah.
There's no way. That was a
I mean,
fucking.
even if that's technically like true for her diet, if you were trying to lose weight, why would you
go-
do that?
also,
You went out of your way to be unhealthy.
God
No.
would see that shit and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna let that shit.
yeah,
pass."
no. If you looked at it, it did look like an abomination.
Like, Cole,
No
like
way.
you could have just eaten steak and broccoli, and that would have been healthy. But you're like, no. I took pork rinds and deep fried that around eggs.
You used an animal's skin as breading.
It sounds like a witch's stew. You're like, and then pork rinds.
Yeah, it was good
Trying
though.
to summon a beast.
Well,
Bring
one-
Satan back to this
One
planet.
pork rind.
I tried.
Virgin.
I tried to keep my diet, normal, except
What do you mean you try to keep it normal? You're deep frying Brussels sprouts. You don't try to keep
Normal?
anything normal.
I tried to keep what I would regularly eat, but
Yeah,
just
what you
modified it
regularly
a
do
little
Is that
is
what the
bit.
fuck you would
insane.
regularly eat? Is deep fried Brussels sprouts like on a Tuesday?
Yeah, Shosh loves them. They're good.
What are you? I've been hanging out with you for like a year, and every time you say something, it's like you never cease to amaze me.
Yeah. So I had that stuff. I went.
Yeah, it just comes home. We're making dinner, just throwing pork rinds on pretzel sprouts.
Pork rinds. That's fucking horrific.
Had a lot of rice too. Like when I'd go out to eat, like a lot of fast food places.
It's like
you can
using
only
like Doritos as like a salad or some shit.
As croutons.
As a fucking ingredient.
went out to a couple restaurants. Kept it within the diet. Had like bone marrow and stuff like that.
Even when you're trying to be normal. I've never even heard. What are you, a Neanderthal? You trying to be like, went to a restaurant, had some bone marrow? No, I don't, Cole.
You never had bone marrow?
No.
No, fucking bone
I eat
marrow.
like a burger if I'm at a restaurant. I don't order the juice within animal bones. What are you?
I would go out to eat at Olive Garden and order the fucking waiter.
It's delicious. It's kind of like a meat butter.
What restaurant are you going to that serves bone
Yeah,
marrow?
what the fuck says bone marrow?
Me and Shosh had bone marrow twice at two
Where did
different
you go?
restaurants. One we had it at some bar.
What do you mean? Just bars have like chicken tenders. You piece of shit. Bars sell like tater tots, bone marrow. Is that what you're saying?
No, they got a deal. $7.
Yeah.
$7. You get a fireball shot. And
Well, one restaurant we got cheese curds and bone marrow,
What?
Fucking where?
Yeah.
Where the fuck did you get that?
and we had
It's a great like Midwestern / Neanderthal infusion restaurant that's coming up real in Wicker Park that you should check out.
so yeah, it was a good diet.
Is that even edible? I didn't know you could eat that.
Eat what?
Bone marrow.
Yeah, it's you crack the bone. It's like That's why dogs chew on bones to
Dude,
get
you're
that.
gaslighting me right now. You're saying crazy shit, and you're trying to pretend that it's not
That's why
just
dogs
absolutely batshit. It is.
They're
That's
trying
why
to get the
dog-
delicious bone marrow inside.
Yeah, that's also a
why.
fucking dog, and I'm a human man who doesn't eat bone.
No, it's just bone marrow, and we're like, he's making me feel crazy. Like maybe I should eat more bone marrow. Maybe next time at a dive bar, I'll order some bone marrow.
I'm sitting there feeling like some uncultured piece of shit because I'm not having bone marrow.
But then I realized, like, oh no, Cole's insane. Cole also was on a diet making pork rinds, frying pork rinds, things that are already fried.
I like food. Okay.
No, you don't.
That
like
is not.
food.
No, you don't like food.
No.
You like-
Fried Brussels sprouts and bone marrow is not food.
No.
It's a salad from an era I don't want to visit.
It was honestly, it was a decent diet. I had fine on it. Just didn't have a lot of bread, which I missed. I missed bread.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure you never eat bread or anything else anybody else eats.
Yeah.
Didn't get to have human flesh, which
Just 'cause-
I imagine was a burden for you. But
I don't know.
process.
Bone marrow is you're typically supposed to spread it on bread, and so I couldn't eat the bread portion of it.
Spreading essentially was the blood of a skeleton onto bread like jam.
Do you know what marrow is? It's not blood.
What is marrow?
it's the inside of a bone.
You don't eat that on bread like it's jelly.
It is. It looks just like jelly.
I mean, yeah, I don't know anything about eating bone marrow because I'm a human from the 21st century. But, yes, according to Cole,
you thought I just had a bone and kind of like tipped it up and let the blood
I have
go
no
through
clue
I don't
what the
know
fuck
what you
that
thought
shit
because
is.
we're normal people that don't.
Is it expensive? Because I imagine it should cost like 25 cents.
It's decently expensive. It's delicious though. You guys should have some.
Absolutely not.
It tastes a little like foie gras, just in that it's like meat
Oh yeah, 'cause
butter.
I know what foie gras fucking tastes like.
I don't know what it is. I do know people have like a problem with it. Like
Foie gras, it's the thing where they fatten up. Have you seen how they make it?
they like
They
choke
get
a
a
duck with
goose and
food.
they just put a fucking pipe in its mouth and just like fatten its liver up until they torture the shit out of it. So its liver is like all fat, so they force feed it and they kill it and then you like eat the fatty liver.
Jesus.
It's horrifying. It's a fucking
It's like if
horrifying
I ate
process.
my uncle's organs.
Yeah.
Just a fat-filled.
No, yeah, it tastes a little bit like torture. You've never had that before.
It's good. That's all I can say. Well,
Fucking better beef, whatever animals
I like
suffer
it.
for you to get that.
I was at a restaurant and we had there was a dessert that had foie gras in it. It was a foie gras
What
candy.
dessert has fucking liver?
Yeah.
It was a foie gras candy bar. It was like chocolate,
Jeez.
nougat.
Where are you eating? What life are you living? What is this like a weird like billionaire diet where you just what the fuck are you? I can't relate to anything you do ever.
Yeah, outside of the party, as soon as you leave the party, like he like puts on his robe and goes to whatever satanic restaurant
Yeah.
they fucking eat at downtown.
Bone marrow, and then for dessert we have a liver of a tortured animal mixed with chocolate, and a nice fried rice.
As they bring out some 6-year-old crying Chinese boy, and he goes, "Ooh, appetizer."
Yeah, so all in all,
so just a normal diet for you.
I'd say it's a successful diet.
So sweet. Did you lose weight doing whatever the hell it is you do?
Yeah, I lost 4 pounds. I don't know
What
if
do
it
you
was.
normally have? You definitely just go crazy with the bone marrow, and you're
No,
fat.
I usually have bread with it, and I think the bread.
Oh,
is-
yeah.
Adds
you're
a
cutting
little
the bread out.
He gets a little naughty and adds some bread.
Put some bread with the Asian tears.
yeah.
When are you lost? Well, you're not eating like real food. You said you lost 4 pounds in a week.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Okay,
Yeah. I also
so you can follow this shit and be like a skeleton, like.
well, I was also unemployed, and I wasn't really leaving the house
You
that
weren't really
much.
spending money like you're fucking unemployed. I've never been
so I
broke and
wasn't-
be like, oh, let me go get some bone marrow.
I wasn't like super hungry, and I think that also contributed to the weight loss, just because.
Because you were depressed? I wasn't super
No.
hungry because I didn't have the will to live. So I just sat in my bed all day. I lost a couple pounds because I was unemployed, piece of shit. Girlfriend's yelling at me. I don't want to leave my room.
Yeah.
All right.
Shosh likes the bone marrow though too. Even though she's a vegetarian, she feels like there's like a life force in it that she's sucking out.
That's the most creepy way to put
That's
that.
the most people-
She's a vegetarian
people
for
fucking
moral
think.
reasons, but she does think there is a soul that she could suck out of the bone. She does think there is a life here, and she wants to
It's weird,
absorb
but it feels like you're gaining life when you eat that. Like raw fish too.
Yeah, I'm
also
sure
gives
you
that
fucking are
feeling.
getting like you monster.
Well,
Yeah.
especially after the ceremony where they put the put the satanic pentagon in the
I'm sure.
ground.
Yeah, I'm sure when they mix it with a freshly slayed virgin's blood.
Yeah. So that was me. How about you, Kenyon?
Well, so I was doing the perfect weight. So I really didn't even.
Well, first
ideally,
off, what do you think your perfect weight is? We gotta start there.
I just want to be at a place where I can take my shirt off and not apologize. That's the perfect weight, which I'm not at.
Do you feel uncomfortable? Are you one of the guys who like swims with your shirt on or something?
I just try to avoid the pool. Just not get
Like
ourselves.
you go to the beach. You go to the beach. You like take your shirt off, or you keep
We're gonna try to not take the shirt off.
Oh, you're gonna be that guy.
I'm not gonna go in the water with the shirt on.
I'm saying if you're just on the beach with a shirt on.
I'm on the beach with the shirt on.
Come on,
Oh
man.
God.
Huh?
It's terrible. Yeah,
He was right.
Yeah, it's gross. It's terrible.
That's your type. Pasty white.
Pasty white. Yeah.
You won't even get a tan.
So you like beach with in like a.
No, God, if I'm with my family and people who I don't really
You with
care
some
about.
friends. You with some friends.
I'm not gonna show them my stuff.
Jesus,
I wouldn't
man.
do that to a friend. I wouldn't take my shirt off in front of a friend. I'd show someone my dick before I'd show them me with the shirt off. Tell you that. But yeah. So I don't do that. I have swam in a shirt before. It's a fat man's life hack. It doesn't really.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't help.
If anything, it highlights.
Because everybody goes, "Oh, why are you swimming with a shirt on, fatty? What are you doing?"
Also, the shirt sticks to all the fat.
Yeah.
What do you think we can't see?
Now your man boobs
It
are
also-
almost just outlined.
It's a good thing though for fat people to do that. I feel because there's also the added benefit of there's more drag in the water, so you have to work a little bit harder to move around. So you are
That'd be a
losing
funny
weight.
good point if you didn't say drag, like you were you were just an idiot. Yeah, so the one heavy lunch a day didn't really mess me up because I generally only have enough money for one meal a day. So
Yeah.
that just kind of worked out where it was like, yeah, one meal and then the rest of them, nothing. So that wasn't really a life change. The liquid was I felt I kind of I
You
felt
did the
like-
liquid for a day?
I tried to drink like a lot of those those like fruit.
Gatorades.
No, not Gatorade. Yes. I said fruit and you went to Gatorade. Is that how far you think I am from intelligence? I just
Brandon,
see
I thought-
colorful color and I'm like, that might as well be
I
an
thought,
Those,
I thought we were so
those
poor that
Kool-Aid
you were
things?
gonna say like Fruitopia.
Capri Suns.
Drink like 8 Capri Suns, I felt full. It's not V8, but like the
Arctic cherry.
It's like those
It's like those gross like blended fruit little
Yeah,
drinks.
yeah.
Those are nasty. Like they have like the green one. And
I
shit.
just had one of those that I was like gonna declare breakfast, which is not.
Like-
it's just a drink.
like
It's
naked?
Not, huh?
Yeah,
like
naked.
those.
Those are fucking bad, dude. Those taste
Yeah.
like shit.
You know, you can
I had a couple of those.
if you want something that's a little more filling, that's liquid. I know Whole Foods sells them a lot, but you can like get bone broth in a glass.
That's not.
It's real. You can
That's not real.
you can buy bone broth.
Bone broth.